All right, welcome to another episode of Unbound Being. My name is Roald, the creator of Buena Vista Island Estate, and I help people gain a fresh perspective on certain aspects of life in order for them to have a different view on things and be able to let go of some of the things that are holding us back in order for us and them and everybody to move forward into a new place, a healthier place, a more balanced place, a more harmonious place, that we could make this planet a better place in general, get rid of some of the things that have been holding us back from being that. And today I'm speaking again about there's no such thing. I already had part one, and if you haven't seen part one and you would like to have that precede this part, then you could check out the link that's in here for you to go back to that link and check that one out first. And basically what I'm saying is there's no such thing as Muslim, Jew, Christian, Buddhist, Hindu, Jahova, or any other religion that people talk about. And the reason last time I went into was one of the reasons is that first we looked at sound in the last video, where we see that we make sounds with the vocal cord, and sounds are nothing but descriptors. We then call them words, certain sounds, certain series of sounds we call words, and then we call them phrases or sentences, phrases and paragraphs and chapters and books and whole libraries finally. And what we do basically is words and sounds, or sounds and words later, are basically descriptors. They try to explain and describe something or a series of things in order for another person to understand what you're talking about, or what you've experienced, really. Because what words are trying to do is trying to convey an experience. For example, if I see a wall, then if I would say well, and then I walked into that place and there was this big wall. Well, in order for me to explain it to another person, I need to use words. And it's a very handy tool, but it's become a god, like almost a god for most people, that words become the thing. But the thing is the words are never the thing. The thing is always more real than anything else. For example, my hand here is real, but it's a physical, amazing creation with muscles moving and this neurological synapses going through it. But the word hand is not this. The word is just a sound, hand. The written word, W-O-R-D, word, or hand, H-A-N-D, is not this. The word hand is not this. This is incredible. This is a mystical, this is a miracle. This is a mystery. This is an incredible phenomenon. Whereas hand is also an incredible phenomenon, the word, because you can write it down on paper, but it's nothing like this. It has nothing to do with this. So, and then the next thing I want to go into is what people then do. I went into that last time, and people do is they make certain words themselves. What really, of course, is the idea of religion, or at least what's supposed to be, is that people are explaining something in words. What they're doing is they're trying to explain a mystical experience. They're trying to say, look, I went into this. I was still, or I had a lot of stress, or whatever happened, and then people have these what they call mystical experiences, religious experiences, spiritual experiences, God experiences, whatever you want to call them. The fact is, it is a direct experience. That's why the Gnostic masters, which have mostly been murdered by religions, most of the real prophets were burned at the stake or killed in some other way, or their documents and their written things were destroyed. And that's what happened to the Gnostic masters as well. What they spoke of, all people, including Plato, were people that used to go in. If Jesus or Buddha or Krishna or any of these people ever existed in the way that we think they have existed, then what they were people who had direct experiences. They went within, whether it was voluntary or by a freak occurrence. When most of them it was voluntary, they went and did so much practice of meditation and certain techniques that they ended up sinking away and resting in that place of stillness and silence, where you realize directly, not some imaginary thought in your mind, but a direct experience within the spiritual or non-physical realm of being, where you realize that I am one with everything. And those masters realized that. They didn't fantasize about it like the religions do. They realized it. And what they then had to do is they tried to convey that experience to the people. And in trying to convey the experience to the people, they had to use something. And the only thing we have is words, because I can't, if I am in a silent state of stillness, in a deep state of meditation, I can't really convey it with my being. Although if you are in my presence and I am still to a certain degree, it does help another person to get stiller. So if you have 100 people in a room that are really still, that really master the techniques of meditation, and real meditation for that matter, then there's a person that might never have experienced meditation can actually go into it easier than if you were in a room with 100 people that are hectic and never experienced meditation. In that sense, yes, the master can help you become more still, but he can never convey the experience to you. You have to actually do it. Just like when you eat a banana, and if you have never eaten a banana, or somebody who's never eaten that, doesn't have the experience of eating a banana. I can explain it to him. I can say it's sweet. I can say it's squishy. I can say it's whatever. But I cannot convey the experience of actually the physical taste buds and all that in the mouth. So the breathing with the taste, the smells really that go through the sinuses. So the same thing counts for religious experience, or spiritual experience, whatever you want to call it. Religious experience is really doesn't exist. It's mental. It's like words and thoughts and readings and stuff like that. But real spiritual, in the moment, now, direct experience of being one with the universe, of knowing that you're one with the universe, is something that is direct. And then the person, whether it was Jesus or Buddha or Krishna or Eckhart Tolle or Barry Long or any of these people, the Dalai Lama, whatever, these people come out and they try to convey in the best thing that we have, which is words, sentences, sounds, the experience. And they also try to explain the methods of possibly getting to these experiences. To eat a banana, you could say, well, what you have to do is you have to buy a banana, right? If you live in a place where you don't, go to a place where there are bananas, buy the banana, get the banana, peel the banana, and then eat the banana, right? Well, meditation is the same thing. The masters say, look, if you want to experience direct experience with God, with life, with Allah, with the ultimate original state of being, if you want to experience that and just instead of just reading it from a book that somebody else had, reading it from some scripture or some old, often manipulated things like the Bible and all these things have been written by some religious people who have their own agenda. But I'm not saying some of the texts are not from the prophets and some of the realized people, but they have been manipulated. So what these masters say is, hey, if you want to eat the banana, if you want to taste the banana, if you want to taste the real spiritual connection with your God, then you better do this, try this, because this worked for me. And this is how I did it. And then they use words, they use sounds, they use techniques, they use methods, they use frameworks by saying, well, what you do is you close your eyes, you stop thinking, which is hard because it's often your mind will say, oh, now I'm stopping thinking, now I'm not doing it. But what you're doing is you're trying to, or without trying, you're being in the moment. And they give you all these words like I'm doing right now. Be still, focus on your breathing, allow all the strain and stress to drop from your body and be in the moment. Be absolutely here. And the way to do that is to focus on your breathing, because your breathing is here. It's taking place now. It's not an imaginary thought. It's a thing now. Or listen to the sounds and be here. That's a method. That is a description. That is words trying to point the person listening to a direct experience. And if it's not a direct experience, it's a religious concept. It's an idea. It's a mental thing. And that is not God. In fact, it's part of God, but it's not God at all. Thoughts are man-made. These are not the experience. That's what makes religions. Religions are the ones that don't know what they're doing. Religions are the people that hear the words of another person, do not experience them themselves, and then go talking as though they know God and what Allah is and what God is and what Jahova is and what Buddha is and all these things, when they themselves are not willing and ready or have never gone into the direct experience of now, being connected with the universe. And unless you do so, you're a religious freak, you're a religious idiot, and you're a person who doesn't want to actually drop the thoughts, drop the mind, drop it and be still. Be still and know that I am God. Be still in this state of presence and know directly that I and the universe am one, that you and the universe are one. And if you're not willing to do that, you're a religious person, and that's why I say there's no such thing as a Muslim, as a Jew, because once you experience the direct experience of God or life or universe, whatever you want to call it, Gnostic, direct connection with the infinite universe, whatever you want to call it in words, that experience doesn't make you anything anymore. It releases you of being a Jew. It releases you of being a Christian. It releases you of all the words, all the names that you can call yourself, because it doesn't exist. There's no such thing as a Muslim, a Jew, a Christian, a Jahova, a Buddhist, a Hindu. There's no such thing. Protestant, Christian, it doesn't matter. There are words. Direct experience is what you want. And if you don't have direct experience, then practice being that, doing that, meditating. And otherwise, don't call yourself a Jew in the meantime, because that means you don't know what you're doing. It means that if you call yourself a Muslim, you don't know what you're doing. The fact is that what you want and what the masters were explaining and talking about is how to achieve or how to get into that state of mind, which is stillness, the state of being, which is now, so that you too can directly experience your infallible, complete, integral connection with the universe, where you sense and know for absolute certain that you are one with the universe, because you are one with the universe, and you are not different than what is this or that or this or that or names. That is just an immature way for the people that have not experienced the direct experience yet to say, I'm a Jew, I'm a this, I'm a that. Some category, some simplified little tiny pocket in the universe, and say, I'm that because I don't know anything else, so I gotta grab onto some insecure story because I don't go and have the experience now. And if you can't have the experience now, then go and practice that. And in the meantime, you will only cause trouble, like the people that call themselves Jews do, and Muslims and Palestinians and all the other names. So that's another episode of There's No Such Thing from Unbound Being, because we have to get a grasp on this. We have to start understanding that direct experience is the way. Otherwise, we're fooling ourselves. And that's what all the religions are doing. Fooling themselves, grabbing onto words and sounds from masters, and then pretending that they know that's the way, and then not practicing them, not living them, not being them, and then just parading around like some childish carnival. So another episode of Unbound Being. See you next time.